Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. I want to talk to you today about when the grid goes down. If it goes down. Now there's some people that say, well, I'm not 100% sure that it's going to. Will we have blackouts? Yes, we already do. But are we going to have some long-term grid down situation? I can't predict anything. I don't know. But what you're looking at is a wood heater. Now, you may hear me accidentally call it a wood stove because it's just one of those habit things, you know, because a lot of people think it is a wood stove, but it's not. It's a wood heater. So just keep that in mind, okay? So that when you say, well, she says that's a wood stove, but it's not. It's a wood heater. Now, with that in mind, I want to discuss when the grid goes down, if it does. There are a lot of people who think when the time comes, they are going to can on a wood stove. Now, I'm assuming that the people who say a wood stove know what a wood stove really is. And so I'm thinking they must know they're calling it a wood stove, unless they're doing it accidentally like I do sometimes. Now, the difference between a wood stove and a wood heater is a wood heater usually only has one plate or two. It has no oven. That's your biggest clue that you do not have a wood stove, because there's no oven to it. And a wood stove usually has 4 plates on top, and some of them will have like a side container like to heat water up, because in long time ago when people used wood stoves, and that was really their way of cooking, that channel on the side there was used to heat water for cleaning dishes or for showers, and they will have a little side panel there that heats water up. You put water in it to heat it up. Now, back to the canning part, because I've seen this, and because I am subscribed to other people, and I see this, you know, all the time being said, stock up plenty of jars and stock plenty of seals so that you can when everything falls apart. Well, I can tell you from my own experience that that doesn't work. Now, a lot of people who are telling you this have never even done it themselves. Let me try to back up and give you some information as to why it doesn't work and what the problem is with doing that. Okay, I throw whatever I can into this wood heater, wood-wise, because I don't buy cords of wood. A cord of wood is very expensive. It just is. Because, you know, it's tree wood, it's been cut and split for you a lot of times, and they sell it by the cord, you know, so much. And it can cost you as much as $200 a cord. Well, I'm not paying $200 for wood to heat my home, because that's what I have my wood heater for, is to heat my home. So I throw anything, all kinds of different broken up wood, whatever I can get, because I get my wood for free. I pay nothing for it. That's the reason I have a wood heater. Now, if I had a wood stove, which is what you can cook on, I can cook on this too. I do cook on it. I have 2 plates on it. And in wintertime, you'll find me many times cooking breakfast and dinner on my wood heater. But if you have a wood stove, there's people who think that they're going to pressure can on it. Now, you can water bath can on either one, but pressure can? I don't think so. And the reason I know that is I've tried it. Now, I tried it on a wood heater. Like I said, the difference between the two is the one has 4 burners and an oven. This only has 2 burners. And the reason it's a huge problem is partly because of the way our pressure cookers are made today. They warp. And that's exactly what happened to mine. And also, the fluctuation in the temperature on a wood heater or stove is not consistent. Now, if you put scrap wood in yours, which is what I do with mine, which is pine, most of the time that's what I can get for free is pine wood. Pine burns extremely hot when you first put it in. And then it begins to cool down. Well, it cools down fairly quickly, okay? And that means you're shoving more wood back into it again. Okay, but remember, you're getting it for free, so it doesn't matter because your wood is for free. And so you have a problem with it heating up real quick again. It is extremely hard to gauge the temperature on these and get it exactly right. Your pressure cooker will go really high and you get scared that it's going to explode on you, so you quickly try to take it off and wait till the temperature goes back down and test it. Well, you're doing a lot of temperature fluctuations inside that pressure cooker. And what happened with me in doing that, besides my pressure cooking warping, all the liquid inside the jar spewed out. So my chicken, because we butchered a lot of chickens and it was in the winter time, and I decided I wanted to can them because, you know, we all worry about when we have freezers and, you know, if the freezer goes down, you lose all your meat. So I said, you know what, I'm going to start canning my meat instead of freezing it. Well, I tried it on my wood heater, and because I wanted to practice. The worst time to find out when you can do something is doing it in a grid down situation. That is not the time to try to figure out when to do it. You need to have it figured out way before then. Okay, so I thought practice. Well, all the liquid came out of that chicken, those jars. When I finally got it done, there was no liquid in the chicken. And it never sealed because of the liquid coming up, which meant there was fat around the rims, and it wouldn't seal. So I ended up having to take all the chicken off the bone and putting it in a freezer bag and putting it in the freezer. Okay? Now, cordwood is more stable than pine wood, junk wood you find for free. But in a grid down situation, you will not be able to afford cordwood if you could even find it. Because everyone who has more money than you is going to be buying it to heat their home. Because, let's face it, those who have money usually are not going to do the hard labor of going out and loading their truck up with wood. They're just not. And so you're going to be stuck with buying or getting, for free if you can, whatever you can scrounge. Now, if the grid goes down, you're going to have an enormous amount of people looking for wood. And the pickings are going to be slim. Just like back in the Depression, they almost killed all the deer off and made them extinct. Well, if a grid goes down and it goes down for a very long time, you're going to have the same problem with wood. And you're not going to be able to get what you might call a better wood where you might be able to control the temperature. But once again, I will go back to our pressure cookers today are not made for wood stoves. When I called the company where I got my pressure cooker from, because I had bought the pressure cooker several years ago, right before I planned on canning, because I knew we were going to butcher a lot of chickens. And I know it was still under warranty. I had only had it a couple of weeks. When I called them, they asked me, what did you do? I mean, where did you try to pressure cook on? What kind of stove do you have? And I said, well, I used a wood stove, I said, because normally that's what I call this, is a wood stove. And she said to me, the pressure cookers are not made to cook on wood stoves. It'll warp them. And I said, well, that's exactly what happened to mine. And she goes, well, yeah, because you put it on a wood stove. They're not made for wood stoves. Now, you might get lucky and it might not warp the first time, but it may warp the second time. I can't say. Mine warped the first time. I also know somebody that bought a brand new electric stove, flat topped, not the one that has those metal wires spiral type things on the top of them, you know, you turn on and heat up and glow red. Well, she bought a flat-topped electric stove. Her pressure cooker would not work on it. Now, that'd be a bad time to figure out when you have a grid down situation and you're thinking, no problem, I'm going to do this or this, only to find out it can't be done. Now, I was told by the manufacturer of this pressure cooker, which is very popular, very famous pressure cooker, that they are not made to put on wood stoves. It's that simple. Now, you cannot gauge a wood stove or a wood heater to the temperature you need it to be using just any wood that you can get your hands on. You are going to have a hard time doing it even if you find the cordwood. You are going to have to be a person who has lived your life with wood stoves. And I mean, it's how you live your life on a daily basis. You're not going to be able to go and do this in a grid down situation. And you will be very lucky if you can even find the cordwood to do it with. Now, there's another problem. Wood stoves cost over $2,000 if you're rich enough that you can afford that. God bless your heart, because I'm not. You have another problem. In your home, if a grid is down, you will have no electricity and no fan. Now, you might get lucky with meat and be able to can in the winter, but you won't be able to can your vegetables in the summer. And I don't care what anybody says when they say to you, oh, if it's a bad situation and you're starving, you'll do anything. Well, when you fire up your wood stove in your house in the heat of summer when it's 110 outside, and because you're going to can a few vegetables that you got from your garden, and your house now becomes 125 degrees. I'm going to tell you this, and I'm being very honest when I say this. Your body instinct to survive will take over, and you will hit the front door and be out that front door, because your house will become even hotter than the outside temperature. You may think you're brave, you may think you're Rambo, you may think you're a lot of things, but you will be brought to your knees in the summertime and 110 degrees heat outside and 125 inside. So canning will go out the door, and you will be sitting outside not knowing whether your canner even held the right temperature or if it bursted, unless you hear it burst. So I'm just saying it's a bad idea and it cannot be done. Now, that's just me. Now, if you're really wealthy, you could do one thing. Buy yourself 2 wood stoves. Put one, build a building on the outside for it. But make sure you have a lot of open space to let heat out of it. And put one on the outside and another one on the inside so that you can cook on your wood stove in the winter. And you can do your canning and cooking on your wood stove on the outside. And at least the heat is going outside and it ain't in your house. But you're looking at over $4,000. And me personally, if I had $4,000, I would be looking into a solar system instead of a wood stove. Because I don't have that kind of money. I'm chuckling. I'm not trying to make fun of people. But if you've got that kind of money, and go for it, you know, and try it. But don't wait till the grid is down to practice. Do it way ahead so that you've got it down packed on how to do it. But I will repeat myself. You are not going to find the wood to be able to do all this. If there is a long time grid down situation, wood is going to be a very precious commodity. And to keep yourself just in basic food to cook, you are going to forget about what you put into that wood stove, and you'll throw any kind of wood you can get in there. And the temperature, you will never be able to regulate it and keep it stable at a temperature that you could can at. So that's just my thoughts. That's one of my, I know because I've been through it and I've tried it and it don't work. So all I can say is if you want to try it, do not wait till grit is down. And if you're able to perfect it, that's great. But I can tell you, in the good old days, my grandmother never pressure canned on top of a wood stove, and she owned two, one inside and one outside. And she did not pressure can on it because she told me the same thing. You cannot stabilize it with just whatever wood you can find, and that's what I'm using in this stove. And so she let it go. She did not can on top of her wood stove. Now you can water bath can, like I said. She saved what cordwood, what people call cordwood, which was just basically old trees that she found and she chopped up. She saved those to do her Christmas turkeys and her Thanksgiving turkeys in, because she was able to control at least the temperature so that she didn't have this roaring, flaming fire going in there that would burn the turkey black in 20 minutes and the inside raw. That's what she saved, what tree trunks or tree cord, because that's what cordwood is, trees. She saved those pieces that she could find for special occasions, because wood was hard to come by, and she lived in an area that had lots of wood. But during the Depression, it was very hard to come by also. And so you had to be careful how you used it, just like you're going to have to be careful with everything else. So that's the information I have, and I would not do this. But if you're that insistent, don't wait till the grit is down to do it, because getting wood is going to be a real problem. And if you waste wood on canning or practicing canning during a grit down and it's all destroyed, and then when winter comes you don't have enough wood and you and your family are freezing, you will regret it. Always be prepared ahead. Don't wait till the moment to find out that you've made a really disastrous decision. And like I say, keep stocking, keep storing, because no matter what somebody may tell you that you're crazy, you don't need to do this, nothing's going to happen, just remember, if you've made a mistake and nothing happens, you can always eat that mistake. But if you don't do it and it happens, you'll have nothing to eat. And may you have a blessed day.